and you're repeating a Republican talking point for reasons I don't know.
Democratic Congressman and DCCC Chair Sean Patrick Maloney slammed MSNBC's Joe Scarborough for pushing Republican talking points. Check it out.
So a couple of quick things, and forgive me for repeating the same question, but maybe I need to say it a different way. Do Democrats support defunding the police, first of all? And secondly, the Cook Political Report said that Democrats lost 25 of 25 contested House races in 2020. And I think most analysis believe that, at least in the House races, Democrats badly underperformed expectations. So address those two. And again, if you could specifically answer the question, and again, it's not the question that I'm asking, it's a question that Republicans will continue to ask. Do Democrats support defunding the police?
Right. The answer is no. And you are asking the question, and you're repeating a Republican talking point for reasons I don't know. Excuse me.
Let me tell you why.
I'm trying to answer your question,
excuse me. I'll tell you why I'm repeating it, because you all did such a damn poor job of answering that, such a poor job of answering socialism questions, such a poor job about answering cancel culture questions. That's why I'm repeating it, because if you believe that Kevin McCarthy should be Speaker of the House, keep pretending that none of that happened and keep saying that the House did a good job in 2020, because they did not. House Democrats did a poor job. So my question is, are you going into 2022 with eyes wide open?
Right. So as my friend Maxine Waters said to Jim Jordan, you're ranting again. But here's, if you'll allow me to answer your question.
If you don't really
can I answer the question? Can I answer the question?
If you don't really care whether Democrats win or not in 2022, okay, let our viewers know that.
All right. I think that gives you an idea of what went on there. Now, Joe Scarborough here. First of all, I want to just show you how some people view this as Joe blasting the DCCC chair for repeatedly dodging whether he supports defunding the police. He answered it very clearly with a no. Now, I don't agree with him, but he answered the question very clearly. Now, the idea that Democrats lost seats in 2020 over defund the police and socialism is absolutely hilarious when the Democratic Party as a whole does not support defunding the police or socialism. How can you possibly blame how can you possibly blame those slogans or ideologies as for Democrats losing when the party does not support those things? You are simply putting a Republican smear on the Democratic Party and claiming that's the reason they lost, when there's, first of all, they don't support it. Second of all, not a single progressive Democrat lost their seat in 2020. Not a single progressive Democrat. The only Democrats that lost their seat in 2020 were conservatives or so-called moderate Democrats. And do you ever see, the morning Joes of the media, the more conservative minded individuals, do you see them ever criticize this consistent failure to actually reach out to working class voters and speak to their issues? They'll occasionally talk about it rhetorically. They'll say, oh, Democrats should reach out to those voters, but they won't discuss the actual policy that brings those people out, like raising wages, like health care for all, issues that these conservatives don't support. How can you possibly blame progressive ideas for the losses when the people that lost their seats were not progressives? Many of the members that lost, we're not even not in support of those issues. They were actively fighting against them. They were the loudest against so-called socialism. Several Democratic House seats in Florida lost, and those Democratic candidates were specifically targeting the idea that they're not socialist, and they lost their seats. So the ones that were fighting most against this idea of defund the police and socialism, those were the Democrats that lost. And only a handful of actual Democratic lawmakers support defunding the police. And guess what? They all won their seats. Rashida Tlaib, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman. And maybe Mondaire Jones, AOC, I'm not sure what their positions are, or Ilhan Omar. I'm not exactly sure what their positions are in defunding the police. But I know for sure Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, Rashida Tlaib all support it. They all won their seats. So is that ever brought up here? No, of course not. So it's just, this is more Republican talking points. It doesn't matter whether progressives win or lose. It's always going to be somehow the left's fault for Democrats losing, when clearly, based on all the evidence, it's the opposite.